Hey everyone, welcome back to Sage Advice. I'm Diana and I'm so glad you're here today. Honestly, I'm just so happy because, well, it's the Christmas season. There's just something about the twinkling lights, the scent of cookies baking, and even the chaos of wrapping gifts that just fills my heart with so much joy. Now let's talk about this year. It's been a wild ride, hasn't it? A mix of highs and lows, and those wait, what the freak just happened? If you're anything like me, you probably had a few cringe-worthy moments and aha breakthroughs, sometimes in the same week. But that's life, right? Full of growth, challenges, and most importantly, lessons. So today we're going to unpack the biggest takeaways of my year because, trust me, I have a lot of wisdom to share. And I'm going to be doing it with a whole lot of heart and maybe a little bit of humor. So sit back, grab your favorite drink, and let's dive into the lessons that have shaped me for the better. Ready? Let's get started. This year, I took a leap of faith and silenced the voices of doubt. Even when fear tried to hold me back, I still showed up, and every moment felt like a small victory. My journey was messy, but every video was a step closer to trusting God's plan for me. Here's the thing, fear doesn't always look like fear. Sometimes it could sneak in as procrastination or self-doubt. For me, fear often showed up as excuses or putting things off to the last minute. I quickly stopped that bad habit by remembering the promises that I made to God. If anyone has made any promises with God, make sure you keep them. Battling self-doubt. Thoughts like, what if I fail, and will anyone even care, were constant in my mind. I had to remind myself that starting messy was better than just not starting at all. And some encouragement to my viewer. Starting something new is scary, but the messiness of trying is where growth happens. Take the leap, know and believe that you are stronger than your fear. This journey wasn't just about shedding pounds, it was about reclaiming control. It was about respecting my body enough to say, I'm good, even when comfort food tempted me on my hard days. But the real win was feeling confident and comfortable in my own skin again. Now, let's talk about the emotional side of this journey. The weight wasn't just physical, it also affected my self-esteem. Reclaiming my health wasn't just about looking perfect, but about loving myself again. Overcoming setbacks. For me, my process was not linear. There were days where I would slip up, but for the first time, I chose to be gentle with myself. Instead of giving up, I just reminded myself that every new day was a chance to get back on track. And a note to my viewer, weight loss is personal. It's not about fitting a timeline or a number on the scale. It's about feeling good in your skin and taking back your power. Be kind to yourself and remember to trust the process. This year, I discovered what it truly means to surrender. Not just saying God's got this, but actually living it. I learned to leave my burdens at His feet and trust Him, even in the hardest moments. When I felt alone, His presence was undeniable. He provided when I was in need, guided me when I felt lost, and comforted me when I was at my lowest. I realized that surrendering to God isn't a sign of weakness, it's the ultimate strength. So what does surrendering look like in everyday life? Surrendering means running every uncertainty by God. It wasn't easy at first, but now it's second nature. I pray about everything and worry about nothing. It's a daily practice of trust and obedience. Every time I stepped out in faith, like posting a video I was really nervous about, God would show up. I would get new mentees for the upcoming school term, and I felt like it was His way of saying, you're on the right path. Those moments reminded me that when we really trust Him, He can provide in ways we can't imagine. No matter where you are in your journey, God meets you there. Even in moments of frustration and doubt, He's working behind the scenes for your good. Trusting Him doesn't mean that life is going to always make sense, but it does mean that you'll never walk alone. I realized that when my environment's chaotic, my mind becomes chaotic too. Planning ahead, keeping my space clean, and tracking my progress gave me the tools to turn my big dreams into reality. Staying organized isn't about perfection, it's about staying grounded. Here's what I learned about staying organized and the systems that help me turn my goals into a reality. I learned the hard way that when my office or recording space is messy, it throws off my schedule and my mindset. The disorganization spills over into my work hours and how I show up to everything else. But when I started organizing, I noticed a huge shift. Clarity and better mental health followed. I rely on a few key tools to stay on track: my planner, calendar apps, a wall calendar, post-its, and a checklist. These simple systems keep everything in line and they keep me grounded. Find a system that works with you and stick with it. Being organized has helped me hit my target weight, create consistent content on YouTube, and show up for my students without feeling overwhelmed. Self-love isn't just about bubble baths and spa days. It's about holding yourself accountable even when it's uncomfortable. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep in, journaling through the tangled emotions, and saying no when you need to protect your peace. This year, I discovered discipline is a profound act of self-love. It's about treating yourself with enough kindness to know when to push and when to pause. Redefining self-love. True self-love goes beyond pampering. It's doing the hard, sometimes unglamorous shadow work to grow and heal. Discipline as love. One of the hardest but most transformative decisions I've had to make was cutting off toxic family members and anyone that brought chaos into my life. It wasn't easy, but it was an act of love to myself, to create a space for healing and peace. Here's some sage advice when it comes to self-love and discipline. Start small. Say a daily affirmation, set a single boundary, or make a healthier choice. Self-love and discipline are built one step at a time. Over time, those small decisions will transform your life. If you don't believe in yourself, who will? I learned that how I speak about myself shapes my reality. I can't became, I'm working on it, and I'll never turn it to, I will in time. Speaking life over myself felt awkward, but the more I did it, the more I saw change. The weight of negative self-talk. For so long, I was extremely harsh on myself. Disappointed by my reflection and my weight, I realized that I had to face the way I was speaking about myself. Changing the narrative. I stopped the negative talk and I replaced it with affirmations, scripture, and journaling. Slowly, I started to believe the things I was saying to myself. Here's a pro tip. Catch your negative thoughts and turn them into something empowering. With practice, it gets easier and the change is real. If 2024 taught me one major thing, it's this: God's timing is always perfect, even when it's unbearably slow. There were moments when I was begging for answers yesterday and demanding for results today. But in those moments, I learned the most valuable lesson. Patience isn't about sitting back and waiting. It's an active, living faith in motion. Patience is about embracing the process, and here's how I learned how to do that. I struggled with impatience to the point where I would sabotage anything that would take too long for me. But I learned to trust God's timing because for the first time I had given Him my all and I was greatly rewarded. Growth in the waiting. I discovered my capacity for patience and the strength to follow through. Some encouragement. Remember, waiting isn't wasted time, it's preparation. Trust the process and know growth happens in the waiting. 2024, it was a wild ride, a year of growth I never saw coming. Facing my fears head on, embracing balance, letting go and surrendering to God, and practicing radical self-love. It wasn't always pretty, but let me tell you, each challenge, each victory, every moment of doubt was worth it because it brought me closer to the person I was always meant to be. Whatever you've been putting off, whatever fear has been holding you back, it's time to face it. You are stronger than you think, braver than you know, and fully equipped to create the life that you've been dreaming of. So here's my challenge to you. Don't wait for tomorrow. Step into your journey today with faith, confidence, and a whole lot of courage. Change is waiting for you on the other side. That concludes my 2024 wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye for now, and remember, you've got this.